Hello everyone, happy Thursday night. Thank you so much for joining me again for another look at your top local headlines on the Evening Beat. First, we are following a developing story from today. RCS had some concerning phone calls to Rochester Catholic schools, leading to an early dismissal and an investigation. This comes on the heels of a deadly church shooting for a Minneapolis Catholic school community last week. Holy Spirit Catholic School today evacuated and dismissed after roughly 2 hours due to concerning phone calls. According to the Rochester Police Department, around 8:45 this morning, Rochester Catholic School's central office received a phone call with vague threats. A few minutes later, Holy Spirit received a similar phone call. A bomb was mentioned in the threats. The decision was made to evacuate the building, sending students to Gibbs Elementary a mile away. The building was evacuated and it was quickly determined that there were no credible threats. RPD confirming today that the threat did not come from Minnesota. Educational institutions across the country have been the similar target in incidents. Now, other RCS campuses were also evacuated today just out of an abundance of caution. Rochester Public Schools also helped in that process. Rochester Public Schools had confirmed that there were no threats against any of the public schools either. A sentencing date has been set for the man found guilty in a North Iowa murder trial. James Bachmersky is scheduled to be sentenced on Tuesday, October 21st. Tuesday, a Wenatchee County jury found the 66-year-old guilty of murder in the second degree for the death of 15-year-old Jade Colvin. Colvin was last seen in 2017. The end of an era in Rochester. Seasons Hospice announcing today the planned closure of its hospice house this October. After nearly 3 decades of serving end-of-life care to patients and families. Still, it is not the end of Four Seasons Hospice, shifting its attention now into home care for hospice, something leadership says is a shifting trend in hospice care and an avenue that more families are now choosing. The decision comes on the heels of another recent scaling back announcement, including stopping efforts to reopen the Homestead Hospice House in Owatonna. Now, you can watch the full story, exclusive story done by our Caitlin Alexander with Seasons leadership and families on this path forward. Of course, you can catch that on our news app or on our 10 o'clock show this evening. Last story for tonight, a piece of Austin's prehistoric history is coming home, and now you can check it out too. A woolly mammoth tooth is now on display at the Austin Public Library. It was found just east of Mower County Fairgrounds in 1916 when work crews were moving thousands of pounds of sand for construction projects. The tooth has been on display at the Bell Museum in the Twin Cities for this last several decades, but through a new partnership with the Cedar River Watershed District, the Austin Area Foundation, and the museum, the tooth will call the library home through December. According to the museum, this is actually a partial tooth weighing 9 pounds. A woolly mammoth tooth was also found in Austin's Mill Pond in 1920. According to National Geographic, woolly mammoths last roamed the earth 10,000 years ago. That is a look at your top local headlines for tonight. As always, thank you for joining me on Evening Beat. I'll see you back here tomorrow night at 7:30.